thinking back until like August 18th,
Uh-huh.
that's when I feel like my life really changed. I really feel like that was the day because I remember when I was so upset that I was sitting in the kitchen with the old laptop that I really needed to get rid of,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting there and I'm listening to my mom and my dad and they're talking and stuff like that. And then I just had the feeling it was just like go to the roof, go to the roof. So I went up to the roof and everything that I had in mind, everything that was really stressing me out, I went and I wanted to talk about it. But instead of talking, I wound up yelling because I was like so fed up. I was so fed up with everything that was happening in my life that I was trying to fix. And mind you, I didn't realize at the time that no matter how hard I was trying to fix something, I was only making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how much I was trying to distract myself, it kept bothering me. That's why I say to
Mm-hmm.
this day, don't distract yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I
100%.
wish people
Savage.
understood that.
Shinnok was not yours.
And I wish people understood that when it came down to dealing with a situation, the only way that you can handle it is to keep paying attention and don't let yourself get too overwhelmed with something that you have no control over. So when it reached the point where I didn't know what to do, the only person that I really could turn to was God. So I went up to the roof and I started just saying, like, God, if I'm not doing anything wrong, why am I suffering so much? I don't know I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I just know that everything that I'm doing is turning out wrong. What am I supposed to do? And I didn't get an answer right away. And that's why I still tell people to this day, even though you're not going to get an answer right away, it doesn't mean that you're never going to get an answer. You don't lose weight after exercising one time.
Yeah. You don't.
So I feel like that was the real first time that I was tested on everything, on patience, on my own like willpower and strength. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I was just saying, God, if I'm not doing anything wrong, why am I suffering? Shouldn't the person who's doing everything wrong be suffering? And I didn't get it. I didn't understand. And then the next day, same thing. And then the next day, same thing. And then the next day, same thing. And at that point, it was just like, I don't know what you want me to do. What am I waiting for? Shouldn't I be getting bad news because somebody did something wrong and not bad news because I didn't do anything wrong?
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand. It's not something that just happens. It
It's not.
happens increasingly over time.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that happens in your life that you're not happy with, stop doing.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that had to cut out too.
I'll get to that. But at this stage, I didn't talk to nobody. I spent whole day and night just in my room crying. So when people say that I have no idea what depression is, they got a lot to learn. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to drink anything. I can barely sleep. I was up all night. Didn't have anybody to talk to. because everybody that I was trying to talk to, everybody that I was trying to spend time with and have fun, I just wound up bringing them down, so I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to talk to them. And
Shinnok was not
I never
yours
felt
to
so
fight.
alone
Why weren't you
in
on
my
the
life.
front lines?
I work in mysterious ways.
Cetrion's the best. But I never felt like such a useless piece of garbage my whole life. Thank you, Cetrion. I never felt like such a useless piece of garbage in my entire life until like those type of situations ran its course. And I never felt like I never felt so useless. And eventually I got the phone call that I needed in order to bring it to my attention that what I'm doing is too much for somebody who doesn't deserve it. So after I had to stop, after I got the phone call that I needed to tell me, don't go anywhere, don't do anything, just stop, I was told to wait. I was told wait constantly so many times. Just wait, just wait, just wait. And obviously I was just like, what am I waiting for? Until I got the call that was just like, this is what's been happening behind your back. While you've been trying to do your best to get yourself back together and do all the right things, this is what's been happening behind your back. And that's when I was just like, that's enough. I don't want this anymore. And I stopped answering my phone. I stopped, like, I stopped a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped answering my phone. I stopped trying to reach out. I stopped talking to, like, literally everybody, and then that's when I started to realize I never had to stop talking to Jose. I never had to stop talking to Jerome. I never had to stop talking to my mom. I never had to stop talking to my dad. And one thing that sat in my head the entire time was before I left the last time, my sister kissed me on the forehead. I don't remember the last time she did that, but I know that that was the last time that I've ever gotten that.
I get you.
And that meant so much to me that it felt like it was something I had to get back. Because I lost my sister in all of this. Even though if she heard this, she would say, you never lost me. And I appreciate her saying that. But that's not what I felt. I did it. She didn't do it. I did it. And after that, I couldn't do anything. So I just felt like waiting was the only option that I really had. Because waiting was keeping me safe. Waiting was building me up for the right answer. And in that moment, I'm obviously not gonna see it. The only thing that I'm gonna see is that I'm waiting for something. And I'm like, you know, everything is growing, everything is changing, your whole life is changing. So why can't you pay attention to the fact that while everything is changing, you're doing so much. You're actually making so many things turn out for the better in the long run. Stop thinking so much of right now and start paying attention to the future that you're setting yourself up for. And I said, God, you know what? If this is what relationships are like, I don't want one anymore. And then I basically just gave up on that too. I gave up on everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if this is really what relationships are, I don't want no part in it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to listen to it. Nothing. And it reached a point, literally, it reached a point where I didn't even want to see other people in relationships because it made me jealous. And then I I just felt like David said, "Give you know, do you have Overwatch?" And I said, "No, I used to. I don't have it anymore." And he said, "Here, you can take mine. You can borrow it. Play it." So months went by and I didn't play it. And then he gave me Tekken 7. He gave me Street Fighter 5. And he said, "Play it. Go play it." And I was like, I don't really want to. I don't have an inkling to play anything. I don't want to do anything. The only thing I want to do is watch Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch when it was given that marathon. That's the only thing I wanted to do. And then I kept falling asleep, waking up, I prayed. I cried, I prayed. My mom would ask me if I'm hungry, I would say no, and I would pray. And I would read. And I would find a YouTube video that talked about broken relationships being restored. I was praying for the old relationship to be restored, but I didn't know that the real relationship that I was praying for was mine with God. That's the real relationship that got restored. So I kept praying and I kept praying every day, morning, noon, and night, all the time. I wouldn't eat. I barely showered back then because of the situation. That's how down in the dumps I was. Facial hair was growing out. I just did not care. Like, I just did not care about anything. I was waiting for the day that I just starved to death. And then I just opened up the Game Informer magazine and Dissidia was in it. And then I was just like, oh, wow, look, Kuja looks great. Hey, look, Warrior's in it. That's cool. If I got the game, I would play him. And then I said, God, before you take me from this world, I was so sure I was going to leave. I said, before you take me from this world, can I at least play Dissidia? At least one time. And in the meantime, it was nearing the Dissidia release date. And the game that I played in the meantime was Overwatch. So as I was playing Overwatch, I felt like, hey, you know what? You gotta do some things. See if there's a job opening where you used to work at. And there was. And they was more than happy to get me back. And I started to feel actual happiness. And then I started talking to a couple of people on YouTube because they would have live streams. A few of their names was like Barry Scarborough. I would talk to him and the people that watched his videos. And then there was Judy, Rhonda Empson, Heather, and Todd from It Is Finished. Like, there was so many wonderful people, wonderful responses that they gave me. And it was it was the most welcoming in an online situation that I've ever been a part of. And that made me feel like, you know what, even if what I want doesn't happen, I can still, like, I can still do something. And mind you, in the back of my head, I'm still waiting to just die. I'll just say it, you know? And I'm just like, when is this gonna happen? And then that's when I started learning about, like, the rapture is coming. And I was like, all my life I never heard about this. Like, what is all this? So I started to learn about it, and then it was like, there's a sign coming in September of the sun and the moon and the stars and stuff like that. It's all gonna align, and it never has happened before, and it's never gonna happen again. And this is the sign of things to come. So I was just like, oh, so that means it's gonna happen that day. Because mind you, the mentality that I had, if it did happen that day, I would not have gone to a good place.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it didn't. But I was so ready. And I was like, I was talking to Heather about it, and then I was talking to a lot of people about it. And then of course, you know, those people are just like, oh, so where are you? You're still here, aren't you? Like teasing and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we already knew that this was going to happen because the Bible says so. And I kept on reading, and I'm like, you know, the more that I read, the more I begin to understand that the Bible is more accurate than anybody I've ever spoke to my whole life. And you don't get that anywhere, because everybody's always skeptical. So after that happened, I didn't know what to do. And I asked, I said, God, you've been having people preach for years, people who are old and gone and everything like that, who've been talking about this event, and it never happened. And now it didn't happen either. So am I doing the right thing? And then all the real answers started coming in. Comfort people with these words, you know, and that's when it was through that and through the people that I was talking to that I started to understand. No matter what you say, if you're pro-Christ, you're gonna be anti-world. Everybody's gonna put stuff in your head that's gonna make you feel like you're doing something wrong. But in a backwards world, if you're doing something wrong, it must mean you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That's where I learned it. Because even the Bible says you don't go with what the world wants. If you live for the world, you're not gaining God, you're not gaining Christ, you're not getting anywhere. So, and it's a very hard thing to learn. It's a hard thing to understand because a lot of people don't think like that. And you're constantly surrounded by people who always want you to think how they think, who always want you to like what they like, who always want to change you. But then it's different, because it reached a point for me where instead of just playing video games to get good at them, I had a purpose. That's where it happened. That's when I was like, God, if the Cydia comes out and I'm still here, I want to get so good with this character that I can lead somebody to you. I want to play with Warrior of Light. Nobody else. I just want to play as him. I don't care what my record is. I don't care how many wins. I don't care how many losses, how many draws. I don't care who's on my team. I want to use this character to get to you and to get others to you. Game still didn't come out yet. It was, I think around this time, it was like November or December, and I started working at Applebee's, and I was just like, I was just waiting, and I popped in Overwatch, and I was playing Mercy, and I was like, God, I want to play Mercy for you, because when people see an angel, they need to know that you guys exist. and I wanted to play Mercy, and that's when I started getting play of the game as Mercy, and all of those other things as Mercy, and the team kill as Mercy. You know, that's when all that started happening, and people was messaging me, and I was like, I did it for him. You don't understand. I don't play to win. I just want to make God happy. So then, that's when the feeling came, when it was just like, play as Mei. Just play as Mei. And I played as Mei, and then I started just winning. 5 games, 6 games, 7 game winning streak, just playing as Mei. And I started having dreams. I had a dream that Martin Luther King, but I had a dream that like I would see someone, and I would be outside, and I would come home, and my mom would say, "There's somebody who's here to see you," and I said, "Who?" And my mom just smiled at me. And in my dream, I would walk to my bedroom, and I would see an Asian girl with long hair get off the bed, run towards me, and give me a hug. And my dream would just end there. Then I had another dream that I was in a store with my brother, and it was a gaming store. And there was a worker and somebody else who's like a supervisor or something, who there was like a supervisor who was just enjoying, like she was just enjoying herself. And I put a hat on, and I said to my brother in the dream, I told him, "Look, I'm something." I don't remember what I said in the dream. And he laughed and he was like, "Oh, you stupid." But that same girl that came off of the bed and gave me a hug was in that dream, sitting behind a counter, and she laughed, and everybody else in the store just left. But we started talking, and she told me in the dream, "I'm a better crest hunter than you," and I never knew what that meant until later on. So after that happened, I kept playing as Mei, and I started going to work, and then that's when just that day happened. It was nearing Dissidia's release date, and I was told, "You need to go to the courthouse," and that was the day that saved my life. As soon as I went to the courthouse and I got approved of all my documents, it saved my life. And I remember saying one time, I privately messaged Heather. I hope she sees this video. I hope she sees this video. But I messaged Heather, and I told her I had a dream that I was on a plane going somewhere. My bags were packed. I don't know where I was going, but I was going somewhere. Do you think I'm supposed to go see Barry Scarborough in person? Like, if I were to see him, do you think I'm supposed to go there? And she replied, and she was like, "Go where?" And I was like, you know, if I were to go see Mr. Scarborough, do you think I'm supposed to go over there and see him? And she said, "You know, I feel like the arrest is gonna occur any day now, so I don't know if you're gonna have the time to, but I hope that your dream means that we'll be getting out of here soon. Maybe it's a dream of flying away." So I took that into consideration. I was like, you know what, she's probably right. I hope so. So, after that, she stopped uploading. She stopped uploading videos, and then I waited, and Dissidia came out, and I was so excited for it because I wanted to play with Jose and I wanted to play with my friends. And then when Dissidia came out, it's been out for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and I started searching up Twitch streams. And I couldn't sleep. I had work the next morning.
Yep, I remember this.
I had work the next morning and I could not sleep. And I was up at like 11 something. And ma'am, I believe it's your turn.
Yeah. I was streaming with my friends, and this is when you popped into my stream because I chose to play Warrior as my actual second main, which is the ironic part. The story I have to tell is going to be before all of this, because we'll get back to this part, I promise.
Okay.
Because it's very important with the backstories, because backstories really tell the whole story. And the truth is that I had zero interest in playing Dissidia. Because even with the PSP game, my friend Bard got me it the first time. I played it a little bit, I liked it, but I never really got into the second one. I never really played it enough. And having that be the the problem, I'll call it, because I never really thought about it. I never really thought about playing like the Dissidia NT. I knew about it, I heard about it, I've seen pictures of it. It looks great, but I was like, I don't know, because I never was super into the original ones. It's not bad. I liked what I played, but I never put the time toward it, which it was weird because a couple of years back in 2016, I hit one of the biggest slumps of my life. Because it was a friendship slash a relationship that I thought that was it, you know, that's the one that means a lot to me, where I was going to invest a lot of time and energy to, like, on and off having this strong friendship and this strong buildup of a future that I even imagined that we were able to have didn't last, and it was for 7 years. In 2016, when that came crashing down on me, I really felt like my life, everything I did was for nothing. And mind you guys, this is something, and I'm going to admit it, and God knows already that I have gave everything that I've done to him for forgiveness, because I was one of those who heard and knew about his existence, but I never knew or read into it about, I thought you had a choice, you know, in life, and we do, but the choice I chose was to go against him, because I thought it was something that I don't have to do, even though I feel like he does exist. And I never once understood why all these bad things happen. And coming from parents that actually have beliefs in God, knowing Jesus Christ, and having all these things built into their life, and me growing up thinking that I'm an untouchable kid because I don't need anything because I never was taught about it. I was given a choice and I took the bad road. Knowing that, I've always wanted to do everything for good. I think about the same way a lot of people do, you know, doing good equals you get good. You know, doing bad is obviously you're gonna get bad stuff happening. And it's like karma. Like, a lot of people love putting that word karma. But the truth is that I never understood life that much. So when it came down to all the stuff happening, crashing down on me, I asked, and this is not the first time I said out loud, you know, if there really is something out there listening, why does this happen to me? Every time I feel like I have something good happening, it's taken away, and I'm in pain, and I feel like I've never done anything wrong to anyone. Why do I have to keep suffering? Why do I have these situations that happen where I feel like I just feel useless? And just going with that, I never understood, and I thought that that was it. Everything's done. You know, I'm never gonna have a relationship that's gonna respect me, love me for who I am. I have to keep pretending. You know, I've done cosplay for well over 10 plus years, and it always felt like there was something that wasn't really me. The more I did it, the longer I did it, the more I felt like I just couldn't be myself. I can't even talk about movies I like. I couldn't even talk about video games I like without people criticizing, because all they wanted me to talk about was anime. And I didn't want to always talk about that kind of stuff. So when it came down to just having that situation presented to me where I felt like I lost everything, I just didn't want to do anything anymore. And I remember how I barely wanted to eat. I really didn't want to. I didn't want to watch anything. I didn't want to continue making stuff. I thought things were over, but I still responded to my friend's company to help them out. And I was forced to keep going. And every time I felt like I was going somewhere, I was losing a part of myself, because it was like a shell that had a broken heart. And when it came to the days and it kept going, I remember I said, if there's really something out there, help me. And nothing happened in 2016, but I got back on my feet slowly, and I really was lost. But around the year, I don't remember exact time I played it, but I played 15. I cried a lot. It made me tear up and cried, because I felt that everything that was going through Noctis, I felt it. Everybody telling him to stand up when he lost everything, and he gotta suck it up because he's this and that. And then I picked up World of Final Fantasy. My sister was the one who beat World of Final Fantasy to try out, and I was like, oh, this is cute, you know? I really like it. And that was my first time actually paying attention to Warrior of Light, because I first looked at Warrior Light and I was like, you know, I never really played 1, and I barely touched the city, so I don't really know his personality all that much. And how humble he was in that game, I was like, aw, that's adorable. And also in 2016, if I remember correctly, was the release of Overwatch. I always wanted to play it, but I never got the chance to actually play it, because I didn't have friends to play with. But I almost had an opportunity to cosplay for a contest judge thing, and I kid you not, I was going to make a full-on outfit, right? And originally it was going to be Widow, because I liked her aristocratic like outfit, the one with the stuff, and I thought she looked cool, like everyone does, right? But time restraint, I didn't know what was gonna happen with what was going on, because it kept on, I was like, yeah, maybe they want to do it, yeah, maybe they don't. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do May. Because easy, you know? She has the outfit, her little casual outfit that she has coffee with. I can do that, easy. Shirt, blue, I got it. I could make that no problem. But it never went through. Then, we come later, fast forward, to Dissidia. I tried out Warrior, and I was playing as Warrior, and I think it either was I wanted to try him, or because I was interested, because at first I was playing as Furion, And I was like, okay, you know, like obviously I had Noctis, but like fearing for Vanguard, I wanted a Vanguard so I could protect my friends. I really wanted just to be there to protect my friends and just to play with them. And I tried out Warrior, and I was like, I can't get a hang of it. It's hard. It feels difficult. But he's good, but I just don't know why I can't get a hang of it.
Cetrion.
Then came around a couple more streams, I decided, you know what? I want to pick him up. Again, I want to give it another try. After giving it another try and going through his training just to get him level 10, then I started under his mechanics as I kept playing. Then I was like, oh, I get it. I like it. I like how Warrior plays, actually. And I decided, you know what? The next time I'm gonna actually play with my friends, I'm gonna use him as a Vanguard instead. So that's what I ended up doing. And that was the stream that I ended up playing as, and that's the stream that Sartorius came in. But all of this aside, before that actually happened, the year before Dissidia came out, 2017,
Shinnok
I
was
kid you guys not,
yours to fight.
I was constantly attacked for months with these big, shaped, faceless, black images. They're almost like their bodies are weaved with threads of black and red, and they were just crawling everywhere. And I know that people who've experienced attacks before have seen similar things. And one night it got really bad, where I got attacked really hard, and I remember a couple days before that dream happened, when I got attacked by those things trying to rape me, I saw a video about a girl who was also attacked before, and she decided to call Jesus Christ Satan. And that was in my mind when that actually happened, when I was getting attacked in my dream. I couldn't move, my body was pinned, I could feel my heart racing, and I was like, why is this happening again? This is not the first time I feel like I got attacked like this, and it sucks because I don't like this. I don't want this. And it was in a city with tall buildings, felt like I've been there before. And I needed help. And I was like, I don't know what to do. This thing is about to eat me alive, it feels like. And I said, you know, and then that moment came where I was like, Jesus Christ, please save me. And when I said that in my dream, the dark lifted away, and the light came through the sky. And that thing wasn't there anymore. It disappeared. It vanished. It got completely torn apart, and it just flew away with the air. And I stood up, and I realized in that dream, this was 2017, I looked up in the sky, and I was like, this is nice. This place is actually really nice. And why does it look like New York? But I didn't understand it was New York until I rethought about the dream several times. And this was rounded before I went to New York Comic Con during that year. But I never played PlayStation Online. I never played any games online on the PS Plus. I was so late to that PS Plus line of stuff, and mostly because of the payment, you know. I wasn't really playing a lot of games that needed online, so I never did it. But that year, after that dream, I got gifted a subscription for a whole year on PlayStation Plus. And following that, before all this happened, Bart was one of the ones who asked me again, hey, did you know Dissidia is coming out? You gonna play it? You gonna get it? I was like, I don't know. You know, I don't know if I want to play that, because I don't know about the budget right now, obviously. During that time, I was fluctuating with my funds and spending. And my sister got Dissidia out of nowhere because she wanted the case. She wanted the steelbook case for Seth. And I was like, oh. And she was like, here, I'll give you the game. Here you go. and I had the game, and I had the PS Plus. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I guess I'll make use of it. So I started playing, not
Shinnok
knowing
was
that
not
all of
yours
this was gonna lead to
Why
later
weren't you on the front
when I started to
lines?
stream,
I work in
and that's
mysterious ways.
where all the stuff that was happening, I was preying on without understanding how to do it right. But I was doing it because the reason why I spent so much time on the city in the first place is because I couldn't go anywhere. My family got sick to the point where they were worried I was gonna catch whatever they had, and I couldn't do anything. So I had to stay inside my room and just do what I can with what I can. I had to even put snacks in my room. I couldn't go outside, and I had to just keep praying and hoping that they're gonna be okay. And then, just with all the streams that happened, when I chose Warrior of Light, it didn't work the first time. And the second time, when I finally picked it up, I streamed the next day, was when Sartorius came into my chat and said, hello. And we talked about, really shortly, about him playing as the Warrior of Light as well, and being his main character. And then asking to play. But all the stuff that he went through, and all the stuff that I went through, we didn't know about when we were playing this game. We didn't know that this was going to be the ropes tying together soon. And so sorry if you could talk about how, I guess, if there was anything that I hadn't add.
Well, nobody understands that before I started to try to fix myself, before nobody understands that everyone says, everyone who knows me now, everyone who understands my transformation, and I'm not talking about what people use that word for now, I'm talking about a spiritual transformation. Nobody understands that I stand the tallest when I'm on my knees.
Yeah.
No one understands that. And no one understood that for a long time. So when I got down on my knees and I prayed, it was because I got tired of getting thrown out in the street of where I used to live. I got tired of having to go to a Salvation Army place with all of those people that were just looking to steal stuff from you. Nobody understands that I was so tired of getting put in a cell, waiting, not knowing what's gonna happen to me because of someone that I hurt severely. Whether or not the guy did or didn't do something right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Is that there's no reason to hurt someone on the level that I did. It could have been handled a different way. And because of that, it wasn't a fun experience being in handcuffs. It's not. And it really sucks. And it's not something that anybody deserves. I don't care if you want to pretend that you're a gangster. I don't care what music you listen to. I don't care what you decide you want to involve yourself in.
Shinnok was
You should
not
know better.
yours to fight.
Why weren't
You
you
should
on
know
the
better
front
than to involve
lines?
yourself with
I
it.
work in mysterious
And these
ways.
are the reasons why that I've learned so much while being under God. Not indivisible with liberty and justice for all, because all of that other stuff is just a pile of horse garbage. But nobody understands that the reason I made the playlist, the reason why I am who I am, why I transformed, why I've been able to understand life, why I can make people smile, why I can do all these things, and why I wanted to dedicate Warrior of Life to God is because, you know, I don't want people to feel what I felt. I want people to understand that you don't have to go through things in order to get the experience. You don't have to. I've done it already. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that'll say, I've done it so you don't have to, but I don't want you to.
Yeah.
I'd rather look to everybody like the cool uncle that understands things because you don't know what that uncle has been through, instead of being the kind of person that's just like, what the hell block? Instead of being the kind of person that's like, yeah, it's not so bad, everything is fine, everything is okay, because the truth is it's not.
It's not.
It's not. What everybody else is accepting should not be acceptable to you. Don't listen to what everybody is saying. Not everything is okay, and it shouldn't be okay. You know, like, that's the difference. Understand morals. Understand your morale. Understand that what happened to you should have taught you different. What I went through is not for everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to ever feel like that they gotta get thrown out on the streets. I don't want anybody to ever be accused for murder or attempted murder. Nobody needs that. Nobody should be accused of that. Nobody should find themselves in that kind of situation. And I thank God every single day of my life that when they did that background check, it told the truth.
Yeah.
I did not. Everything I said I did not do, I did not do. And the truth was brought to light on every single occasion. Whether I was there or not, the truth was brought to light. And they saw it, and they hated it. They hated the fact that it was true. They hated the fact that it was honest. They hated the fact that I told the truth. They didn't want me to tell the truth. They wanted me to just give up and give in and suffer the consequences that I didn't have to do. That's why I changed. And that's why I talk the way that I do. Everybody's a human being, and everybody should be able to listen to honesty and truth, not just brush it off to the side because they feel uncomfortable with where this conversation is leading. I'd rather talk about something more honest than talk about something that's just gonna feed something that shouldn't be fed.
Yeah. And I've been there. Times I wanted to actually speak about honesty, I couldn't. And I felt like that I was silenced every time I tried to say something, to the point where I ended up silencing myself. Because there was no point in trying if everybody just imagined me as someone that just accepted everything, when I never stated any stuff like that. And a lot of the things I've done, I'm not perfect, I didn't do everything right. I already told you guys I've done things, said things that isn't the person I am today. But the day I asked him for help was the day I gave all of it to him. Because he is the one who saved me. I stopped having those nightmares where I felt like I got attacked. I had dreams of growling noises and claw marks pressing against my chest. I've had countless times at hotels, and people thought it was funny. People wanted to know because they're like, oh, ghost stories. Those aren't ghosts. Those are the mistakes that we carry, that we allow those type of demonic entities to take charge in our lives because we don't understand that they exist, and the only person that can take care of them and get rid of them was our belief.
And it's the very thing like that. I'm sorry. But it's the very thing that's the thing that people don't take seriously. That's the thing that people don't want to talk about. And that's the thing that people need to talk about. I can't stress that enough. Is that if you're so scared to talk about something that will make a difference, why are you so comfortable about the things that make no difference?
Yeah.
Nobody asks that question to themselves.
Yeah.
And the thing that really sits on my head, the reason why we're talking about this now, is because when I look back and I see the things that God asked me to do and I did, and when I see that He wants me to play a certain character in a video game, it goes to show that no matter what you do, if you do it for Him, it's going to change your life for the better. The reason why I brought up Overwatch was because the exact same things, the exact same development choices that the character Mei has, is exactly what she has.
Yeah.
Same birthday, same Chinese birthday, animal, same element, same personality. It's incredibly identical. Coming down to
Yeah.
the fact that we like didn't know each other for all of these years, and yet it seems like we lived parallel lives.
Shinnok was
Yeah,
not
where I was introduced to Warrior and he was introduced to Mei. Not knowing that I was going to, like, if I played it, I probably would have played as her. I would have picked her up.
If you did, but people need to understand that it goes so much more deeper than that, to the point where our animals, our pets as children, well, you as a child and me as a grown adult, had ironically the same name.
Same spelling. Yeah.
Same spelling, same name, and then we start discussing characters that we like in video games, and we're like, why do we use the same people?
What was that?
Like, we use the same people in the same games. Okay, that's a little bit of a coincidence. And then our pet animal is the same name. Okay, that's a little bit of a coincidence, right? If you want to believe in that. Okay, so explain the fact that, ironically, if you wanna keep on going deeper into coincidental situations, how about the fact that growing up, we were always the outcasts in the things that we wanted to do. Okay, that's another common situation that a lot of people have. Now, what about favorite movies? Okay, we had the same. We watched the same movies growing up. What about TV shows? What about cartoon shows? Okay, sure. Now it starts to get a little creepy, where we start watching the same shows growing up, where we start liking the same characters, where we play the same games, where we talk about the same stuff, where we enjoy the same stuff. We have the same. We like similar, wrestling shows that she wasn't really able to watch because, because she, as a kid, wasn't allowed to watch certain stuff. But we had the same interest in nearly everything. Nearly from top to bottom, it was nearly every
Yu-Gi-Oh
single
decks
thing.
were the same.
Saying like, you can't make this stuff up. So
That's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was like saying that there's a lot of things that we didn't know about each other that was all so similar. We even freaking guessed each other's height without even knowing what each other look like on stream. On stream, I have the video that we've
Yeah, it was creepy.
guessed each other's height without even knowing what we look like in person. And those things, you can't call it coincidence. You can't call it, this. A lot of stuff, I am 110% sure God has made us for each other and brought us together when we were finally able to be with Him, because I wouldn't have been able to meet Him if I never asked Him to save me, and I know that for a fact, because it was through Him that I met Sartorius, and with Sartorius I was able to understand all the questions I had that I couldn't ask anyone else because I was too afraid to ask.
When I had that dream, when I had the dream of the airplane, and I spoke to Miss Heather, we didn't understand what it meant. But then only a few months later, the dream came true, where I was on a plane and I flew to San Jose. And I traveled quite a bit because of past careers and past things that I've done. I've traveled quite a bit. But the fact that I was so sure, like, there was not a doubt in my mind. Excuse me. There was not a doubt in my mind that no matter what was going to happen, I was leaving. You could not tell me otherwise. And you still can't really tell me otherwise, to be honest. But it's very different now than it was then. I can't stress enough to you guys the fact that when something happens, when things aren't going your way and you don't know what to do, there's no one better that you can call upon. There's no one that can help you except for him, because I'll shoot you straight, and you might not like what you're about to hear in the video. Your anime, your TV show, your cartoon, your movies, your fan fictions, they can't save you from yourself. And you don't understand that if you can't be yourself, you're never going to be free. You need to understand what you have. You have to understand what it is that you have, what it is that you own, why is it so precious, why do you have it, and if you ask God to get rid of it, why are you trying to fight him? I've asked many times. I said, God, whatever it is that I have that you want me to get rid of, please take it from me. I lost my phone. I lost my bed. I lost I lost a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. And I tried keeping it, but then it just came to me that it was like, you know what? I asked for him to get rid of it, so he's gonna get rid of it. Everything that I lost, I got back double. Everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm speaking physical, material things. I got back double. I got rid of a laptop. I got a laptop and a PC. I had to get rid of my TV. I got 2 TVs in my room. I had to get rid of my PS4. I had 2 PS4s. I had 2 controllers. I have 4 controllers now. Everything that I had that I got rid of got doubled. My bed size was barely big enough for me, and that was big enough to fit 2 people. I had 1 chair that was broken. I had a broken chair, and now I have 2 chairs. Both fully functional, perfect condition. Everything got replaced. And I know these are his rewards for just listening to what he wanted to tell me, what he wanted me to do.
yeah,
Everything.
we are living testimonies of his work. What he's done.
I can't express how much I just wanted to have friends during my tough time. And again, I asked God if I could use Dissidia, Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. I asked him if I could just use Warrior of Light to change people's lives for the better, to bring people to you. Not everyone stayed, but it worked. And that's what I wanted. And he answered my prayer, amongst many others. I asked in prayer, why do I have to wait? Why do I have to wait? And then the phone call came, and it was like, well, that's because the person that you used to date got pregnant with somebody else yet again. That's why you had to wait.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm done then. Thank you for the answer. And then it was like, oh, you're gonna get evicted here because this person is mad at you because you don't want to come back and support this. You can try, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna evict me because I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Now we're gonna bring up charges against you that you're this and you're that. Okay, go ahead. We did a background check and there was nothing there. Oh, no wonder, because it didn't happen.
Mhm.
So everything that I've done, everything that I wanted to do, it came true.
Mhm.
Even my childhood dreams have come true now.
Yeah. A lot of stuff has changed. A lot of things have been the stuff that I worked so hard for to help with friends that I wanted to help and all I ever wanted in my life was to make people smile. And just to have them smile was everything I chased for. There was people that I even wanted to help because they helped me once, I helped them twice. You know, that was always my thing, where I just wanted to be a good friend. I wanted to be a good person with them. But I never understood on how used I ended up becoming. And that's highly spiked all of... I didn't even understand that I was getting mentally abused until everything ended, because as stuff went on when I didn't understand it, and after when it ended, I thought everything was just gonna be, you know, well, at least we can all be friends. I can still try to help the people that we've worked with because I care about them. I still care about them. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I don't want to hold grudges on anyone. And then finding out where anything that's done in the dark is brought to the light. And this is another example that I can give too, where I had a friend tell me specifically that I was called out by the person that I was not saying anything of since the incident happened between us, where we stopped being around each other. And I was called a friend with benefits. I've never done anything like that. I've never done, God knows, I've never done anything with anyone like that. I would never be anyone's friend with benefits, but who knows who else heard it? Who knows what other people heard it? But I knew God already had my side because I knew that I didn't do anything. And I never responded to it directly to the person who said that. But somebody could know me for over 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter what time it is. People can change, people can turn against you. But I know, standing with God, God never turns against me. And to this day, none of that stuff ever caught back up to me because I knew it wasn't important anymore. All of that stuff died along with the path I give to God when I told him to save me. And I've been walking this path. It's not easy. Sometimes when we talk to people, people feel like we've done it so well, or we're such goody two-shoes, I want to call it that, or like we've been around, it's so easy for us to just accept everything that God gives us. It's not. The hardships we still go through, the criticism that we still have to take, because we want to have our beliefs is where we stand strongest right now, and that's the only thing I want to stand strong by, period. But none of this makes us untouchable. We've gone through so many things, waited for so long, over years and years of even countless days of pain, and none of it comes easy. But what did we do the whole time? We didn't give up, we prayed, we gave everything to God. We kept asking for help. even though all the stuff that happened to us, we don't want anything bad to happen to people that has been involved with our lives, because that's not what matters.
Definitely not.
What matters is what our life moving forward is. We hope one day people who we came across, whether it was positive or negative, or even a little bit in between, that they can see and understand that nothing in this world you can conquer if you try to do it by yourself.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna succeed. I don't care about criticism. I know a lot of people don't like me because I'm too straightforward. But the truth is, too many people care about things. People care more about things that don't matter than things that should matter.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that it is. People don't see that, and they hate it. They don't like. They're not gonna like what I just said. But you know what? Them's the break. Like, there's nothing that you can do. It's the truth. You can't. No matter what happens, you can't change the truth. I don't care who you are. You know, stealing has been bad, always has been bad, always will be bad. It's the truth. You can't change that. I don't care what you do it for. It's still a bad thing that you did it, right? So the only thing that you can really tell me is, well, I did it for this reason. Don't look for excuses. Stop trying to make an excuse. You lost enough hope inside of yourself to the point where you had to turn to doing something bad and justify it. You don't make excuses. Don't look for a reason to hold on for something. Don't look for a reason to try to turn something bad into good. You can turn a negative into a positive, but you cannot turn a bad into a good.
Yeah. What the heck? Oops. That's...
So, I mean, after that, after Warrior, I flew. Actually, she came here first to New York, and then I went to San Jose. And the thing that sealed it for me was we were here together, and she said,
Shinnok was not yours.
"Don't you want to pray with
Why
me?"
weren't you on the front lines?
And that was it.
I work in mysterious ways.
That's all I needed. Ever since that day, I didn't care, because I cried. I cried because I knew that it was what God wanted for me. I knew that He had something for me to do involving this young woman's life, and He trusted me with it. And she had something in my life for me to do for me. Besides make everything better like she already has, she had something that God had in store for her to do.
Yeah.
And after, you know, not everybody's gonna stick around. Of course, you know, let me put this out. If your own family members can abandon you, if your own family members can hurt you, and your own family members can make it to the point where some people you don't even want to talk to or see anymore, what's to stop a friend who's not even related to you from doing that to you? People are going to come and go. But I've always said, I'm not going to leave anybody unless they make me. But I'll always be here if you want me to come back.
Yeah.
I've always said that. And I still stand by that. I've tried to do my best. I've been taken for granted for too much. But I still know that regardless of what happens, regardless of what I decide to do, if I do it for the right reason, I will be successful. And success is defined in very different ways. But it is a way that it's definitely a way that I wish people understood is not an envious way.
Yeah.
I have succeeded with Warrior of Light. I have succeeded with May, and my rewards was getting friends like Bart, getting a girlfriend like you, getting friends like Dark Eater, getting friends like Venus, people who I can genuinely care for, and show them that the real definition of friendship is not supporting every single thing that you do, but correcting the wrong decisions and letting them know and telling them the truth.
Yeah.
Your friendship is always based off of truth.
Mhm.
Not making up stories, not sugarcoating, but the direct, honest truth. And that's what's gonna
Yeah.
open up your door.
Mhm.
One of my best friends to this day, his name, I'm not gonna say his full name, but his name is Elijah. And he told me something when I was like 16, 17 probably. I don't remember how old I was. He told me, the more you share with me, the stronger our friendship will be. And now, to this day, over 10 years later, I literally see him as a big brother.
Yeah.
We may not talk every day, but I see him so much like a big brother.
Yeah. It's the honesty that I always wanted and I never got from a lot of people, because people choose to not be honest just to make themselves appeal a different way. When you came to me and spoke to me the first time, I saw the honesty in you and I wanted to be your friend. I didn't know what was gonna happen between how fast it was that we just ended up having curiosity and feelings and just started to be like, we gotta slow down. And when we did meet in person, you asked me, you know, like, before tonight ends, I would like to pray with you. That was earlier in the day. I remembered it because sitting in the back of my head was always, before even flying to you, was, am I acceptable enough to pray with you? Knowing,
Finally. Sorry.
knowing that you're, yeah, in my eyes, I saw you as further steps than I have been, because I've only asked to be saved, but I haven't been led to doing what else, what's next, you know? My curiosity of, didn't work this time because I got afraid because I was thinking about all the things I've done bad. But I wanted to be saved. I wanted to be able to understand better ever since the year, well, month before I asked. And being able to ask you that, and then starting to learn and understand all the things through the stuff we learned and talked about together. That's really what made God put his hand all over that, because he knew all of my problems. He knew what I couldn't handle. He knew what I was worried about, and everything I was worried about was hammered out instantly through you. And that's where he works in miraculous ways. There's a miracle worker. That's definitely him.
Yeah.
Erased from history.
Frost wings.
And I am very thankful for that, because it's not something that's easy, but
It's not.
it's worth doing, period. No matter how hard it is, it's worth doing, because I've never felt the love that I wanted so bad was because I wanted the love from God. That love that you get exceeds even more the love that we give each other.
That's true. That's very true.
And I'm so thankful, so grateful that I'm able to speak about this and talk about this with you, because it's something that we brought up before, and I feel like a lot of people, when they see us, they think we're like, you know, miracle couple, cute couple. They don't know the backstory between how we struggle to get even to know each other because of all the stuff that we thought was good for us, and we chose the wrong choices. We didn't listen. We were doing things against everyone's warnings, God's warning. We were ignoring all of it because we thought we knew what we wanted, and we almost lost our lives for it.
More than once.
And I am always thankful for all the people that we came across, that we were able to talk to. But knowing us and knowing that this is piece of us, a big piece of us, is important, because we're not gonna hide the fact that we have been saved by God. I don't want to keep feeling like what I felt years ago, where I can't say something that I appreciate. But I'm very thankful for all those people that we have spoke to, and they know what our beliefs are, and they can respect that, and they can even share with us the same things too.
Me too. It's not a world that a lot of people are comfortable with anymore, but then again, people don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult, it's a fact. Whoever this video or these videos come across, you need to understand you don't always know what you want. And sometimes you don't know what you want at all. That's human nature.
Yeah.
Because if you want to argue the point, take into account that if you're one of those people who think, you know, like cavemen and all of this stuff. All right, let's look at it, right? Let's really observe this point. Did a caveman know? Think like this. Did a caveman know? I'm gonna go out and I'm specifically gonna hunt me a buffalo because this is what I know I'm craving and what my family is craving. No, he got what he could get, didn't know what he was gonna get, but he was happy with it. Now tell me, how many days of your life have you gone through where you have no idea what it is that you want for dinner? You don't know what you want to eat. You don't know what time you're gonna fall asleep. You don't know if you're gonna fall asleep at all. You don't know if you're gonna have it tomorrow. You don't know what you want. Sometimes, if you're a gamer like we are, you think that you want to buy a game, you go to buy it, and the game sucks.
Yeah.
You don't know what you want. Sometimes you go to the store and you look at the lineup of juices and sodas, and you don't know which one you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to be indecisive. But just know that there's always a guarantee. There's an answer. And that answer is to stop looking. We didn't just find each other. We didn't I didn't water a couple of plants and then an Amari popped out. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
I stopped. I stopped everything.
I stopped too.
I stopped looking. I didn't want a relationship. I
Me
didn't
either.
want anything. I just wanted to please God. And because I did that, she's my reward. And
I just wanted to
nobody,
be saved.
nothing's gonna change that.
Why weren't you on the front lines?
I work in mysterious ways.
Thank you,
I wanted to be
Cetrion.
saved. I really did. I wanted to be saved. I wanted to stop working. I wanted to stop doing everything that other people wanted me to do. I wanted to stop feeling like I was a slave. Because I literally was. Every time, I felt like I couldn't stop. When I wanted to say no, I don't want to do it, I was guilt-tripped to the point where I had to keep doing it. it wasn't fair to me, and it was just simple things as going to... People might think it's luxury, but if you knew the background antics of running things and having to plan stuff and doing things last minute and all these things that just didn't matter. I had a point where I was afraid for my life because my head kept ringing. I almost had a heat stroke at a convention, and everybody just looked at me like I needed to still be out there standing with the crowd and pleasing other people while I was basically literally phasing out already. That stuff is not okay. I gotta take care of myself. None of this stuff matters, and that's when it was really clear that God wanted me to stop doing a lot of things I was doing because I asked to be out of it. But I never was given that chance to, because I felt like I was being forced to. But what was keeping me there was the pressure of what other people felt like was good for them, was good for me. Nobody should be able to feel like they're forced to do or to like something that everybody else is like. The bandwagon, you gotta get off of it. You gotta not be on it. You can't just keep going if it's going to make you unhappy. You are in control of your environment. You make that choice where you want to go in the future. You end up being the one to say, please, save me. You have to make that choice and stick with it, because everything that we choose, everything that we do from the very beginning that we ask to be saved is going to be accounted for. You're gonna, even if you don't ask for it, you're gonna be accounted for your life when it ends. And I lost a lot of people and friends through this time of this year and last year. But I really hope that they're able to choose the right path for themselves to be able to be saved, because I don't want to see them ending up like those who are going to end up in a place that they never want to be. We always try to warn people because we've experienced a lot of stuff that we don't want people to see and repeat and feel. And it's because we care. But a lot of times, care can become... It looks like a problem to others because people are afraid of change. I just hope that our story of how we met, the things that God put together for the both of us, can be a testimony to others that God's work is there, it exists, it can happen, it does. You just have to stop trying to control every part of your life.